Hey folks, it's 7 o'clock and I promised everybody I'd start at 7. So you're welcome to look at the stuff afterwards and we'll probably go through most of the things on the table. Need more chairs? We got some outside the door here. All right, well, welcome. Now, my name is Al McMullen, and I've been asked to represent or answer some questions. Just represent a little bit about what's going on in the development behind the Sorrento Wind. I need to start by apologizing that I announced to a bunch of people last Thursday or Friday that we were going to have this meeting on Thursday. I got quite ill and still am a little bit, and I tried. I was calling the wrong number to book this place, and then one thing went after another, and never got done. So, and our girl neglected to put the rest of it on social media. So, with that said, this is kind of going to be a meeting before the meeting. All right, so we're going to do this. You're welcome to come back, but the CSRD needs us to give 5 days notice, so that's why I said last Friday, but not everybody got it. It didn't get out all over the media, so we're going to do that now, and so we're going to go next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and I will be much more prepared next Tuesday. We'll have flyers for everybody you can take home and that sort of thing. We might even have some multimedia stuff here for you, but I do apologize for that. So, but I did promise some people last Friday that we were going to be here, and that's why I'm here. Okay, so it's just for those people. I didn't want them showing up, and a few others may have come because you don't look like much of a karaoke crowd. So, and I announced it over at the karaoke place. So let me start by saying the meeting tonight is not. It's an informative meeting. It's not. It's not something that is demanded that we do. It's just they recommend that we do, because just to give all of the community an idea of what's happening, so that you feel more comfortable with what's moving forward. I'll answer any question that you want about the project that's coming forward. We the CSRD, just so you know, this has been a long process. We started this 5 years ago, and we've had incredible amounts of things that we proposed. We didn't understand the area very well. We were coming in with some maybe poor information and lack of knowledge about what this area was all about. I mean, our first plan was a 350-room seniors center with a hospital and an aquatic center and all that kind of thing, and that didn't go very well. And so then we went to apartment buildings, and that didn't go very well. And then we went to the row houses, and that didn't go. So we finally get down to where we're at tonight, and we're talking about 24 duplex units, and with a total of 48 units. And you'll see kind of the plan on the table over there. Now, the 48 units isn't dyed in the wool either, because as we develop and move forward, it's going to be done in 3 phases. The phases are going to be 16 at a time, and so if we find as it goes forward that maybe it's a little bit getting a little bit too tight. Now, I mean, it all fits according to the engineering If we don't like it, we may do less, so there may only be 40 units. And come on in, front of seat. But we'll work that out. The three things that most everybody's concerned with that we've talked to, and we've been hearing stuff for 5 years here. The three things most people are concerned with is, number one, of course, is the sewer. Okay, what are you gonna do with the sewer? Okay, that's number one. Number two is traffic. What are you gonna do with traffic? You know, what's gonna happen with traffic? And number three is, what are you gonna do to our little town? You know, I mean, you're gonna have all these houses and all these people and that sort of thing. So let me address that to start with. Let me take the easy one first, the little town. Okay, the little town is, we're designing these duplexes in such a way that the people moving into these are going to be from this little town. Our idea was that as we're moving forward, there's a lot of seniors in the area that are living in big houses that are either too big or too expensive for them, and we're offering them an option, a nice, reasonable, new place that they don't have to leave the area. Because one of the big things that we've been hearing from people over the last years is they love the area, but they can't afford to stay in a big house, and they want to move closer to a hospital. You know, and that's actually why we came up with the first idea with building a little hospital in here. But and so the idea of what we want to do here is build houses in such a way that the local community can actually use those houses. That will open up other houses for families to move in, and that's what we're trying to do. And as a business owner here, it is nearly impossible to find employees because there's no place for them to live. And we've housed employees since we got here, and that's the only way we have employees. It's the only way we could get an employee is if we housed them. So we've been housing them, and actually a lot of the community since we've been in town. So the other thing is, when the way these are designed, and if you kind of look at the angle of these, as they go down the hill, when we design the roofs, we're trying to make live roofs on these things. And so as you look down, we're trying to make it in such a way that you won't really even notice that they're there. They're not going to affect your view or whatever, because it's got a natural float going down. The roofs are all designed such that as you look out, you almost won't see them sitting there unless you really know they're there. It's really kind of cool. We've been involved in developing things for many years, and we love this idea. The second idea, or the second challenge people are having and you, by the way, you guys can ask me all kinds of questions after. Let me just get that out. And then next one is the traffic. Well, there's really not going to be much more traffic. I mean, we have 40 to 50,000 people here in the summer, okay, and 10,000 in the winter. That's pretty much what's the Sorrento area is. So no matter what, we're not really going to be adding to that 40,000 all summer long. That's for sure. That's already here. And the unique thing about this property, because it is in the central district of Sorrento, it's right in the middle, we actually have 4 entrances onto this property, 4 entrances and exits. Coming off, there's a main road coming off the highway that comes down to Coriano Road, goes in behind the toy boxes, and that's actually a road. It's called Coriano Road. That comes right into the property. And then we've got, of course, the road, and I'm sorry, I don't have it right in my brain here, the road right after us, again, that comes straight down, comes around, and then it comes up. We also have 2 entrances into what is now the Sorrento. We end in the Copper Island Pub. There's 2 entrances, and there's actually a right-of-way going right down that's designed just for this purpose, going right down beside the Copper Island Pub. So there's lots of entrances and exits coming off the highway, and you can actually, if you come out of the subdivision, or when you come out of the development and going down towards the lake, you can actually then go on the highway in any of 4 different spots, right? Because you come down onto, sorry, I had all these names in my head, I'm not feeling well. So anyway, you can come down, you can actually go up and you can go into, you can enter onto the highway 3 different ways that way and 1 different way to the east. So there's not going to really be a big problem with traffic. We've already talked to MOT. We've gone over it a lot with them. They don't think there's a problem, but that again is something that is we have to do before the next review. When it comes to sewer, that is the big one that most everybody's concerned with. And we have no problem with the sewer at all. We've gone to several engineers. There's a lot of land down there, and we've designated an area at the bottom that's 50 feet deep by almost 700 feet wide, and that's an area for the septic. But what's going to be unique about this development is I've been involved in water purification and water disposal and sewage disposal for over 40 years. We were part of a development that created a product called the Black Water System. Black Water System, if anybody want to look at that, just punch in your phones or whatever, number 1 Blythe Street in Sydney, Australia. Okay, and what this system does is when we created that system, now that system's not going to go in here initially because it'll take years and years and years and years before the BC government will understand it. And so, but if you look at that system, it's a system designed to take all the septic, all of the sewer from the entire town and process it into clean water that you can use for toilets, irrigation, cooling towers, all that sort of thing. But with that said, we're very much aware of all the things we need to do to reduce the amount of sewer in the area. So one of the things that we will be installing in every one of these houses is a system. And you might have seen it on the table there. And what it's called hydro. And what it does is it takes all the gray water from the house, so from your showers, from your sinks, from your basins, all that sort of thing. It is all plumbed into Hydroloop. Hydroloop then processes that water and sends it back into your toilets. And so you're using all the gray water that you produce in your house. It's not going to be in your toilets. So when you flush, so it's literally going to use 50% of the water that a normal house would use. So when you, and just that savings alone makes that whole project. We're going to build the system out. We're going to build a septic system such that it can handle the full meal deal. But we'll have that, and of course, along with that, we will be offering high efficiency toilets. So a toilet is going to flush 1 gallon of water versus a lot of your homes probably have 5 gallons of water being flushed. And I highly recommend you keep them at 5 gallons of flush, because most of the older houses are designed for 5 gallons. You try to get 1 gallon of flush in there, and that's why we now have Roto-Rooter. That's one of the top companies in America. But so we will have high efficiency toilets. You will have Hydroloop, so 50% of the water will actually be going down into the system. And we're going to develop and design the system in such a way is that after we've shown and taken people down to San Francisco and even fly them to a city history if we have to, we're going to design the system in such a way that we can actually put this black water system in, and then there'll be literally zero effluent going into the ground, zero. And we'll be able to literally take the sewage from the entire town of Sorrento. We will be able to put sewer into the entire town of Sorrento if they want it, and we'll be able to process it through the system. But again, that's a little bit ahead of time, but I just want to make you aware that we are very, very aware of this the sewage, and I can tell you why we're so much, why it's so important to us that we reduce the amount of sewer coming in there, is because we currently own property right below this property. We own properties below the whole town, and because we are the lowest spot, you look at our property there, where the Sorrento is. From our property, everything goes up that way to the east, and our property goes up that way to the west. We are the lowest point in Sorrento, right there. So it's a perfect natural place to actually put a sewage disposal. But with that said, over the last 50, 100 years, the septic systems that have been put into Sorrento simply don't work. They just don't work. They've got them, you got septic fields underneath of parking lots, underneath of roadways, in backyards full of trees that roots have grown through them. And the only reason why most everybody gets away with that is that we have got a unique type of soil here in Sorrento. We've done geotechnical reports and we've done all of that, and we've got a really neat sand here. It's a black crystal sand, and that sand is incredible for drainage. And so with all the septic systems that are in the town, all that water is going down and just shooting down. And we have on our property, we have 3 French drains that were put in by the CSRD, and they run 365 days a year like a fire hose coming through there. If one of the pumps quit from our property, okay, 15 minutes, our basements start to flood down there. So that's how much sewage, so-called, is coming from Sorrento through our property. So we have to fix that problem. So we're very well aware of that. And this town of Sorrento needs to, at one time down the road, decide that they better put a sewer in, because that problem is just gonna get worse and worse and worse as it goes. We're not gonna cause any problem, any more of it, but it's already happening throughout here. So it would be nice to have a development that went in that could show people that you didn't have to dump all your sewer into the lake. And fortunately, we have that sand, and it cleans a lot of it. We've had water tested down there, and it seems to be pretty good, but that's down the road. So I wanted to say that in answer to the questions about the sewer, we have got that. We've got that nailed. We know exactly what we're going to do there, and we will reduce the amount of actual effluent that's going into the ground. We'll have that reduced immediately by 50% with our Hardy loop, and then with the low flush toilets, we'll take it down another 35% or 40%, depending on what it is. And so, compared to the average house out there, we will be somewhere around 70% less effluent going into the ground. And the type of system we're putting in is a 4-stage treatment system. And the water coming out of that treatment system will virtually be drinkable. It will be, we've installed these systems all over in Canmore and Banff in Alberta, and it took us a while to convince them and show them that fields weren't necessary. Why are you dumping this effluent into the ground? It just doesn't make any sense. The effluent is clean, it's virtually drinkable, and so we've got it to a point now where we put in sprinkler systems and we put in feeder lines throughout the trees and in the gardens and that sort of thing. And and the effluent, it's so clean coming out of there, you can actually water your grass and trees and that sort of thing. You can wash your car with it if you want. So that's the kind of system that we're putting in here. So it's a 4-stage system. The final stage is ultraviolet light coming out of there, taking and removing any bacteria from it. So it'll be a very clean, very good system for there. All right, so I'm sure you're gonna have questions, so I'll leave it at that for now. But let me tell you how it's gonna work as it goes. So after we have the meeting here, we've got a few things that we need to deal with, and we're gonna have a second and third reading at the county. And we're going to start this nice and easy, nice and slow. We're going to start with 16 units, like I said, in the first phase, and we're going to offer them out to the community, and we'll see how it goes. If nobody buys them, then no one has anything to worry about. We won't be building another 16. All right, and if they do sell well and people like them, then we'll do the next, and then we'll do the next. It'll probably take a couple of years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years. Who really knows? It'll all be dependent upon sales as it goes. And so it won't be like some huge thing that's just going to smash and change everything all overnight. It's going to be gradual and easy, so everybody gets used to it as it goes. But really, now, you can ask me questions, and I will, will probably answer all the other things I was gonna say, so rather than me just talking, why don't I just answer some questions from you guys? Anyway. Yes, sir.
You keep saying we. Who is we?
Okay, so thank you. I was gonna mention that right off the bat. Just so everybody knows, that we are the owners, and when I say we, I mean my son, my wife, they own the land. It's a company, well, it's a numbered company called 1286071. They own the land, and Dreams Never Limited. There's about 4 companies in there. When we bought the place here, we actually bought the companies. Okay, we didn't buy the assets, we bought all the existing. So it's PKH Hall, Copper Island Pub, some other BC company. There's about 3 or 4 companies, but the overall company that owns everything is 1286071. And that's who owns the land. Now, that is not necessarily the people that are going to build and develop it. All right, we have very large builders. People are talking to us. We're looking at a modular home idea, so they come in as mods. The design of the houses are such that they're a perfect mod. So they'll be pre-built somewhere else, and then either in Salmon Arm, Sycamoose, and there's a place in Kamloops. So we're looking at doing that. So they'll go in there, and we won't have all the noise and the problems and the long term stuff. So, but I don't want to announce who those companies are until it gets a little further along the process. But that's who we is. Anybody else?
What are you gonna do with all that lumber that you've got sitting out there? Are you gonna use that to build your houses?
No.
And your used windows and?
No. So
You haven't had a good track record as far as cleanliness goes on your yard. Is this gonna change?
well, see, that's a great question, and having all these new beautiful houses sitting there are going to make sure there's no more garbage sitting there, right? We've had that garbage long before we got there.
No, that story's been here since you moved here.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean up every day,
Yeah.
we're gonna change that. And you've been telling me that since you moved here, Alan.
Well,
And
as
it
you
hasn't
see-
happened, it's
What
got
about the
continually
front of the
worse.
club? Like the disgusting mess at the
Yeah.
front.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
there's always another side of the story. You see one side, and we deal with another.
What's
So-
the other side?
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, so right now, when we originally came, our idea was we were going to build more cabins down in the lower area. So we brought a lot of lumber material in there, thinking that we'd be able to do that, just small ones. We started building them down there, and it didn't work out because as it goes from one thing to another, the sewer capabilities down on the water, it would have meant if we were to want to build these other condos or these other things down there, we would have to redo all the sewers in all 32 of our cabins in 4 houses. Okay, so we canceled that idea, and so then we actually had to dismantle all those and we bring them up there. So what's happening with that mess right now is we're actually turning all those into, as you see, we've been selling all kinds of little sheds using up all that material. So we're building sheds, we're selling all that material off, and the units that are on the big things that are on there now, we're actually down below before. They're being turned into little log cabins, little cabins, which actually are all sold right now. They've already been sold to a guy in Sycamoose. So we're going to be using all that lumber to fix all those up, and we're going to mail them away. So yeah, so you don't have to worry. All that'll be cleaned up shortly.
How long?
As long as it takes. If it's going to take, like we're going to move. Well, no, we got to move forward on this project, right? So clearly, it can't stay too long, right? So I would suspect in the next few months, all that stuff will be good.
You keep bringing it in and in.
Yeah.
So,
And it never goes
can I
away.
have a question? I mean, I think you had your turn, but can I say something? So, just so you understand, my name is Calvin LaHue and I'm all trade drilling. So you see $1 million telehandler in his yard. We took down 140 dead trees. Took them down, cost them probably $50,000. Okay? Cleaned it all up. Been cleaning the yard up.
What
So
yard
just-
are you talking about?
His yard, right now he's cleaning up.
What's his
The,
job?
Right below the hotel. They've been working there 4 days, 4 of my men, okay? $40 an hour, been working cleaning up. The next thing is I'm gonna tell you, is all-type drilling did Chase Highway. I did all the blasting, did all the shotcrete, did all the bolts there since Mike Hall left. I did in the last 2 years. I'm probably the best contractor you ever seen. I'm working with him. This is actually a really good man. You know what's happening? Right now we have 5 people getting wages.
Excuse
in
me,
this area.
sir, this isn't about you.
No, but I'm
No,
actually
this is
supporting.
not about
Well, I'm
you.
telling you what's going on there because I'm there.
We
You
don't-
ask questions.
This is
Everybody
not
sees
about
what's
you.
going
I have a
on.
chance to
Everyone
talk.
lives in the
All
area.
right.
I have a
Let's-
chance to
let's-
talk.
No,
Calvin, thanks.
this is not about you.
Oh, I
Okay,
see,
so,
okay.
we're gonna
Anyways,
clean
let
up,
you know what's
anyway,
going on.
clearly, guys, that as the project moves forward, all that's gonna get cleaned up, and it'll be cleaned up, soon, very soon. So, we'll get there.
And there'll be a lot of people
Is there any
hired.
other
It's
question?
gonna
Is,
go-
is soon like never?
No.
It's always there?
Clearly,
Yeah, I agree.
soon can't be never, can it, if we're gonna build 48 houses on there. So, there you go. So, we'll get that all cleaned up, that is a priority for us. Go
So
ahead.
do you think this parking that you have on here, the 41 parking spots, is going to be enough parking for all these units? When you can also put a basement suite in these units?
You're the one I want to talk.
Okay, first of all,
You can do it.
everybody, first of all, the 41 parking units that you see there are
Everybody
not
should
for
have a
these
right to
units. They're not for
Not
these
one
units, they're for the pub.
purpose.
Okay, so that whole parking lot there, are you talking for the one behind the
You
toy
don't
boxes
even know
there?
the names of the roads in your
Yeah.
project.
Right,
This is embarrassing.
like I
listening to
said,
this.
like I said,
Like you said,
I'm
yeah.
not- this is a meeting before the
Like
meeting.
you
Next
said, you
week,
don't know the names of the roads.
next week, we will do this again, and I'll be more prepared. It's just because I told, anyway, that 41 units, or those 41 parking stalls are for the pub. And we're gonna have to tear down the ice cream shack.
No, this
We're
is the
gonna have to tear
pub
down-
parking up in here.
Right, that's right.
I'm talking these ones.
That's right,
The
that's
ones
pub-
that are right
that's-
beside the
That's
townhall.
pub parking. That's pub parking.
Oh,
What they've done is, the CSRD, because there's been a new bylaw that says that you gotta have, one parking stall per X amount of square feet. And so because the pub is so big, we need 101 parking stalls. Now, we have 101 parking stalls out front right now. The thing is though, if the part that right now where everybody's
You
parking
have
against the highway.
101 parking stalls
That's
in
right.
front?
Yeah, so if you take,
I don't think so.
okay, well, how about you be quiet for a second, I'll tell you where they
Well,
are.
no, I
How about
don't
you be
think
quiet and I'll
it's
tell you where they are.
Okay.
How about you be quiet and I'll tell you where they are. So right now, there is 100,
Yeah,
there's
that
more
hurts.
than 100 parking stalls. If you take all the stalls against the highway
All on the picture.
and all the ones against the inn. So that is over 100 parking stalls all the way along there. Now, according to the bylaw though, when we go to do this, they won't let us make allowance, or they won't give us allowance for the ones that we currently use against the highway, because that in fact belongs to highways.
right.
So if sometime down the road they decide to put a 4-lane highway right through Sorrento,
Right.
they need that room. That's why they want us to tear down the ice cream shack and tear down the mini putt and use that extra lot to put those parking stalls.
Okay, so all these parking
Yeah.
stalls that you're speaking of are for the pub.
They're all for the pub, yeah.
Okay, where are the people that are, stay in the hotel supposed to park? If those are all for the
Well,
pub?
that's what they're talking, the pub and the.
No,
pub
I'm
and the inn.
asking you, I'm
The
not
pub and the
asking what
inn.
they're saying, I'm asking
The
you.
pub and the inn, the pub and the inn. When I say the
Okay.
pub, I mean the inn too, yeah. That's all in there.
No, I know. And there's
And the
not, you
people-
can't fit that many.
And the people, the actual houses, that we're building, they all have garages.
You're glad people want to go there.
Driveways, and so that's where they'll be parked.
All my kids did work, but
So there you go.
it's shut her down.
Anybody else?
I have a
You'll be
question.
dead in 20 years, it won't matter, right?
So you started this
I
by
could go
saying.
You might be dead before that
Not
if
the
you keep it
map
up.
that you hold as public
I have a
information.
right to talk, man.
No, they
But
asked.
it's
That's
they
not
giving
about
us
you, it's
to
not
do-
about you
it's-
or
what
what
I mean
work
is
you
this.
do.
This,
he
when
was
I
a
Yeah,
said that it's
I'm a public person.
Okay,
just
guys,
like
can
you.
we-
Yeah, this is getting argumentative.
We wanna listen to him, not
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin, let's just go. So, so what I'm saying is this is more for informative purposes. I mean, it's not like anything, how do I say this?
Well, they all should be trying to help you.
Yeah, well, no, it's okay, Calvin. They request that we do this for you, yeah. They requested to do this, but it's not like what happens here is going to,
We know where it is.
it's already zoned. It's more of an informative to help the community understand. That's
They
what it's
have
all
to
about.
change the zoning, but
Yeah.
it does meet the long range plan,
Sure.
it's 30 units per hectare.
Right.
But you are required to have a public information meeting, and it needs to be advertised. Where
Right.
will it be
That's
advertised?
right. It's gonna be advertised right all over every social media site that's
Area
out
G
there.
director told me to ask you directly
Yeah.
to get a
Sure.
list of where you're advertising.
Yeah, and I'm glad, that's why I had this meeting to begin with, because now all you guys can go out there and you can spread it too, but it'll all be over every social media thing. It'll be on the Shuswap Friendly, it'll be on all, like everyone that's
It
out
has to
there.
be in a
So,
newspaper, which one
yeah.
will that be?
Well, if the newspapers only come out in November, the next newspaper's
San
November,
Juan
so.
Observer was suggested. It has to be put out in print. There also has to be a Zoom option
A Zoom option for what, for all
for
the
the
meeting?
public information meeting. You can't do it
We don't have
just
to have
by,
a Zoom option.
yeah,
They told us we don't have to have a Zoom
well,
option.
they told us,
You have to have that option.
but you can't make it just Zoom. You have to hold an in-person one,
Sure.
and then you advertise.
Well, next
in
Tuesday is the
person.
in-person.
Okay,
We're gonna
so
do it again right
Again,
here.
where will it be advertised?
It'll be-
Because I have to tell
Sure.
her in print.
Sure, it is going to be advertised on social media, and if I can get it into, why would we put it in
That's very-
seminar? Does
I
anybody?
don't know,
get
that
the
is
seminar? Is that in
the
here?
requirement. I asked
All
them.
right. Okay, then if I can get it in the seminar paper, I'll put it in the seminar paper, but we
Well,
called around.
I need to know where to look.
I'll let the area chief director know myself. I'll give her a call myself.
Never mind.
So, don't you worry about that, I'll take care of that. Is there anybody else?
I see there's a court-ordered sale for the property. Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have to, but I will, just because, all right, and, because it's really not, well, yeah, but it has nothing to do with this development, that court order sale. First of all, it's not,
stable.
yeah, no, it doesn't, right?
No.
Believe me, I don't feel stable sometimes. But again, it's, what it is, not a court ordered sale. We came here, yeah, I know, that's what it said, but it's not true. Okay, court didn't order anything as far as the sale goes, not at all. So what all it is, guys, is that when we came, when my kids came, anyway, when they came to buy this, to purchase here, they sold their resorts up in Canmore, and they brought all this. They actually brought $3.5 million for the cash down here, and that's what we used to buy this stuff. And we had very, very little debt. But we bought 3 weeks before COVID was announced, and then put all the money into this place, and then COVID hit, and COVID actually wasn't all that bad. But then we had 3 years of fires, fire after fire, and you guys remember that. And so we're in the hospitality business, and everything went bad. So we had to borrow, or my son borrowed some money. Unfortunately, it was high interest money. And it started at 8%, went up to 18%. And so there's just the pub and the inn just simply cannot carry that kind of debt. It just can't. And so that's why, and we knew that from day one, from the day we bought the place. We've been trying to do some kind of development down below because we knew the only way to make this work, because every owner that's been in there back to 2000 and whatever couldn't make it. I mean, the guy that we bought it from was trying to sell it in 2008. So the place does not make any money, guys. The pub and the inn simply does not cover its expenses. It just doesn't do it. And so that's why this development has to take place. If the development doesn't go on, then to carry any debt on the pub, it just has to close. So anyway, that's what happened. So they borrowed some money on the thing, went up to 18%, and the payments were just higher than could be afforded. And so we tried to enter into different agreements, and it just got to the point where they just said, no, we want you to sell it. So we said, okay, fine, we put it up for sale, all right? And there's been over 100 people come by and look at the place. 100 big investors, 100 people with all kinds of money. Nobody put an offer in, and so that's why it's.
You put it up for sale?
We put it up for sale, yes.
The court or the Collier?
No, we put it up for sale.
If you go on Collier's website, they have.
Why?
They have.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we put the hotel up for sale, about 8 months prior to Collier's getting. Collier's was appointed by not by the court. Collier's not appointed by the court. Collier's was picked by the lender. And we had, before Collier's, we had CBRE. We picked CBRE, so it was listed by CBRE prior to that. Just no signs. I mean, it's not good for a business to have signs up all over the place like you. We get questions like this.
Yeah, just to further this, that you weren't technically bankrupt, if you look in the advertisement for your place for a court-ordered sale, it says in there that all offers must be approved by the Supreme Court.
Sure.
So is that not a court-ordered sale?
No, that means what happens is when a property goes into foreclosure, okay, you have a period of time that you can redeem the property, right? And then after that period of time, if the lenders feel that it's just not going the way they want to get what's called the conduct of sale. So they go and they apply because they think that maybe we're not selling it good enough, maybe we're not trying hard enough, and so they get conduct of sale. So they ask the court, okay, to allow them to sell it, and so that's what that is. And so then the court says, yeah, go ahead, and we didn't fight that part at all. So they just, I don't care who sells it, you know, I don't care who sells it, if someone sells it. But we already know both properties were for sale for over 8 years, okay, before we bought. Okay, no one's gonna buy these properties, guys. They don't make money, they lose. We have spent $4.5 million of our own money since we took this place over, okay? We're here because we want to try to build something, right? And you know, half the community loves us and half the community hates us, and that's okay. We love them, we all love us, but that's not realistic, okay? So there's nothing to do with bankruptcy, it has to do with foreclosure, big difference. And foreclosure is simply that the lenders want their money back, and I don't blame them. I want my money back too. And so we've been working hard to get that solved. And so a big part of us moving forward is having this development go forward. If the development doesn't go forward, if this development doesn't go forward, then the place is shut. That's just the way it is. Okay, now you guys have all seen, we fought for 5 years to find a decent chef. All right, we finally got a chef that's spectacular, 5-star, the food is great. So he's actually taken over the restaurant, so I highly recommend y'all come and have some food. He's wonderful. We're out of the business now, and as of November 1st, we're not in the bar business neither. We're giving it to him. I'm going to focus all my time and energy on doing this, getting a development team together, and get these things built for the community. So you're welcome to go and enjoy Chef Ravi anytime. Anybody else?
I'm just curious, you talked about wildfires, we're all kind of hyper attentive of that.
Sure.
And so when you talk about modular homes and stuff like that, are you gonna have the new, like they are talking about new quality to resist wildfires and stuff, or to reduce them?
Oh yeah, I'm very, very sensitive to wildfires. Yeah, because again, we're with our stuff in the Banff and Canmore area, and also in the Waterton area. A lot of trees, a lot of fires. Waterton, as you know, burned down a few years ago, and so we're very, very sensitive. All of these houses will be virtually fireproof. Virtually, all metal roofs, all cement siding. It'll all look cedar. Like the only things that are really going to be burnable is the huge cedar trusses and beams. But you try burning one of those. It's pretty tough. You have a pretty intense fire and everything. But understand what don't think these are like mobile homes. I'm talking modular, meaning they're just pre-built somewhere else, and they're much higher quality than any builder can build. Okay, way higher quality. All right, and they're built under control. everything. We're very, very, very sensitive to that here.
When you redraw your plans, are you going to take into consideration the ability for the fire trucks to get in and turn
Well,
around?
of course, that's all part of it, yeah.
Because before this is read a second time, there's a whole list of things that you have to do. One of them is redrawing the plans.
Sure.
One of them is you have to come up with the sewage treatment that includes the pub and the hotel and all of the
That's
units
right,
below.
absolutely. That's absolutely right.
But that all has to occur before a second reading,
You
as
betcha.
well as the public information that
Yeah,
has to be
absolutely.
included.
Yeah, you betcha. And all that will be done. We've got all that in, we've already got the engineering done for the septic. That's already done. As far as the roads go, the civil
When
engineers
did you
are
get
working
that
on
done?
that. I don't understand your question.
The septic,
When did you
The
get it
septic.
done? Yeah, because as of September 18th, that one wasn't qualified, so, I mean, it's only been 3 weeks.
No, you need to understand. We already have a engineer that said the whole septic system will work that we planned. We already have that done. That's in your documents.
The septic system
Yeah.
you introduced to the CSRD was like, no, we don't want to do that, we want you to provide.
There was no septic
all-"
system introduced to the CSRD, ever. They said all there was ever introduced to the CSRD was an engineer's letter saying that it is possible to put a functional system on that property. Now, we have now given that to engineers to design a septic system for that property. That
They're
is being,
designing
what's that?
it, they're designing it.
They're designing, yeah, it is being designed as we speak. Well, that's what I mean, it's already given to the engineers to be designed. It is being designed as we speak. Yeah, it's actually kind of already done, otherwise the guy couldn't have given us a letter, but.
Okay, when we get back to the septic system now, when you started talking about it, the first thing that you did was you went to the discussion about the black water system.
Right.
That is in Australia, that is not legal in Canada.
Hmm.
So really, you don't have a septic system designed yet until we actually hear from your septic system engineer as to what you're gonna do.
Absolutely, and when that is all done, it'll go into the CSRD and it'll all be approved. It's local people are doing the designs.
And then your first phase, you've got down here that you're gonna do 16 at a time.
Right.
And you're going to,
and if they don't sell, you said it was gonna stop.
and you're gonna phase them into the new septic system,
That's right.
correct? Okay. Like, there's a couple other questions I wouldn't mind asking.
Go ahead.
You mentioned 4 access points in and out of the area, and I was kind of missed one. I understand the 2 from the Trans-Canada Highway. And where's the other 2?
There's 4 off the Trans-Canada Highway. There's 2 going into the Copper Island Pub and the Sorrento Inn. And then
That's 2.
Yeah, there's 2, and then there's the other 2 before, the street before and the street after.
Which street before? Arms?
Yeah, Armstead or something like that.
Well, that's not really not accessing the property.
Well, of course it is, because you come off the highway onto there and then you immediately turn left and go down Coriana Road and go right into the property. That's what that road's there
I
for.
really disagree with you there, but we'll discuss that.
That's okay.
And another thing I wanted to ask about is, on this report here, I see you got surrounding land use pattern, property 1, and it says north, Henstridge Road Resort. I don't know, I've been living there for a while, and I don't see no Henstridge Road Resort. Could you tell me where that is?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, 'cause you don't know the street numbers and that.
No, Hendridge Road is the road coming off of the highway, right? And then
Yes.
you turn left, immediately after you turn off the highway, you turn left onto Coriana Road, that comes into that property. And that is gonna be the main entrance
Well,
coming
that's
into
not
this property.
Henstridge Road, so there's
That's not Henstridge
really,
Road.
so there's no real.
Who
Henstridge
wrote that?
Road.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
CSRD.
Who wrote what you're reading?
It's a board report.
That's
There
your
you
board
go.
report.
So then, did I write that?
No, I'm not.
So then I don't know what you're
saying
talking about,
Board
Hendridge Road
Road.
Resort. I didn't write that, that was
That's
done
what
by
I'm
the
trying to find an
CSRD.
answer,
There you
that's all I
go.
want.
So don't tell me I don't know anything.
And the other thing she was talking about fires, for
Right.
instance, I was
Sure.
noticing that you got this listed down as duplexes.
Right.
And when I look at those pictures there, they don't look like duplexes, they look more like a condominium style.
Right, yeah, well, that's exactly why we've designed, we made it that, to look like that. They are going to not look like duplexes, they're gonna look like one house, but they're definitely duplexes. So, yeah, it's gonna look, that's the whole idea, we don't want, it's a very unique design.
Well, I'll be curious at the next meeting to hear what your septic system mostly is like.
Well, the septic system will be given to the CSRD, and the CSRD will approve it. Well, the CSRD isn't approved, it's approved by the engineers or whatever. And then you'll find it. So don't worry, guys, everything on that list is all gonna be answered.
What city got the church?
Don't worry.
I don't think that's a fair statement.
You got the
of
Frank
words.
Slide.
Don't worry.
You know, I think you should just keep repeating, don't worry. I mean, we're here for a reason, to find information.
Absolutely, well, ask a question, ask a question that's meaningful.
Worry is a natural,
Ask a question that's meaningful if you got.
well, we are, that's what we're doing here, but
So
to
that's
keep
why I'm
saying, don't
answering.
worry, it's almost
Well,
like
don't
you got
worry.
everything under control.
Don't worry,
I'm
what's
not
the worst
sure.
that can happen? If I don't do what everything says on that list, guess what? This doesn't go. There you go, so don't worry, right? Don't worry. If I don't do everything that's on that list, this project does not go. So don't worry, be happy. It's all cool. Don't worry about that. Right?
I wanna disagree with you about the traffic.
Sure.
You're saying this is not going to bring any more
Well,
traffic.
Right.
I think we've heard enough already.
So,
Excuse me, sir.
You're free to leave.
You need to stop.
Richard, take your friend.
That's not respectful.
It's not.
I said, I asked him if he's ready to go, he's driving me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So can I not do that? Can't talk to
that's
him?
what I said, I said,
Go
Richard,
ahead.
take your friend.
all right, that's,
So,
Let's go to Richard, I'm listening.
okay, ask me
Well,
about
we've heard
traffic again. Go ahead. Thank you.
I want to discuss
Sure,
the traffic,
you bet.
because if you're gonna have 48 units, right, in total?
Yes, yes.
And then it says over there that each unit can have a basement suite,
It can,
okay?
right.
So, on average, every household has at least 2 vehicles.
Not necessarily,
On average,
yeah, okay.
I'm not saying they do, I said on
I
average.
remember, a lot of seniors around here, a lot of seniors don't have any.
You keep bringing up the seniors, there's a lot of young people here also.
I'm a senior, come on, I know, I got it.
And who says seniors want to move in here? Seniors like their homes. I'm a senior, I love my home.
Good, and guess what, you're not gonna buy one of these things, but all the ones that we've heard.
But
we've heard
anyway, back
hundreds
to
of
my
people. Yeah,
question.
back to your question, okay,
I live just off of Henstridge.
sure.
In the summertime, I can sit for 15 to 20 minutes trying to get on that highway. I have 4, 5, 6 cars behind me on Henstridge. And you're gonna tell me that adding that many more vehicles, houses and vehicles is not going to affect the traffic here?
So then clearly there's already a challenge that's not, that are.
But this is
are
gonna
us
make
not
a
gonna
bigger
affect.
challenge. What are you gonna do to?
Right, so we all know that down the road somehow, some way, that highway's moving. And I don't think we're gonna have that problem down the road. I know that people have been saying it for 35 years down this place, I get that, I do get that. But, right now, when, in the summer, the only time you will ever have 6 cars behind you is in the summertime when 50,000 people are flooding this area.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not true. That
Well,
is not true.
I've been here for 5 years, okay, and I drive a whole lot more than you do. And I'm up and
How
down.
much I drive,
Believe me,
excuse me.
Believe me, I drive over
You're
350,000
talking in
kilometers a year, so
circles
you know
and
that.
circles and
Anyway,
circles.
what I'm saying is,
Driving that many
I've never
kilometers, you
had,
obviously don't spend much time here then.
Yeah.
I've never had 6 vehicles behind me, I've never had 3 vehicles behind me. So, but you know what, the one part of doing all this is a traffic assessment report. And so I will have a traffic assessment report done, and when the traffic assessment report is done, it is gonna be given to the MOT, and they are gonna make that decision. That's not a decision for me or for you, okay? They're gonna make that decision. If they feel that it can be done, it'll be done, that's it. But it just can't be any worse, okay? It can't be any worse than having 50,000 people flood here. That highway, there should be long time ago. maybe if the community was talking to MOT 30 years ago, maybe there'd be a nice off-ramp coming into there already, but hey, it's not there. So, but having developments like this is
Coming
gonna
in
help
where?
that.
Into your place?
Sure, no, there could be an off-ramp coming onto Hensbridge, for instance.
For what
There's lots of
reason?
room.
Yeah, there's no reason to have that.
Well, you just told me you're 6 cars behind you trying to get on there for 20 minutes.
Well, that's
There's
right.
gotta be something.
Well, they can't just build off ramps, they don't even have a center turn lane, a left or right alternating center turn lane in the middle of
You
town.
build them all the time, where that guy ran off the highway just up there a little while ago and crashed in that lady's garage. They went up there without telling anybody else, and just built this great little area up there. It only took them a week, they can build.
There's
they can
houses
build,
where you're talking about.
What's that?
There's houses where you're talking about.
Yeah, no, there's, no, there's not, there's a great big lane, there's a great big laneway on the other side of that. You could easily get a little bit of, you could get a road that comes off Andrew, which goes into town. You guys would have that, all that problem. But anyway, guys, that's not the problem with this thing here. If you think,
It's part of the problem.
if you think, well, it is, but it's not the problem of this development.
No.
That's not this
But it
development.
contributes.
It is a great big problem that hasn't been dealt with since all of you have been here, and I'm new. So, you know, maybe back way back when, we could have done something. And so maybe it's time that the community get together rather than keep saying, no, this is never gonna change, we're never gonna do anything here. Why don't you stand up and fight for something that you deserve, like a sewer? How about some roads coming off this thing? Why don't you fight for that instead of fighting development, guys?
So-
Come on.
Because we want to keep it a small,
No one-
clean
And that is
town.
a big problem.
There's always gonna be development
That is
here,
a
we
big
can't
problem.
stop progress.
Exactly.
We cannot stop progress, this just has to be done properly.
Exactly. So let's do it properly, let's work together. Anybody who
That's
knows
your
me,
development.
anybody, we worked, it's not my development,
Well,
it's
it's
the
not mine.
community's development.
No, it's not.
It is the community's development, because you know what, the community doesn't have a place to house people. And you know why I know that? Because I house them. All right, I house them. There's nobody to work. Anybody who's got a business in this town has nobody to work. Whether it's steamers, whether it's the grocery store, whether it's the pub, okay? You're losing every business in this town because you got nobody to work. You lost the other restaurant, the home restaurant, because there's nobody to work. You gotta get houses for people
That's
to
not
work.
why
That
we
is
lost.
absolutely why.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, she bought the
No.
one in Salmon Arm
Yeah, right.
and moved there. That's not why
The
it closed.
reason they couldn't keep this one going is they had nobody to work. Believe me, I know. We have gone through 285 staff since we have been in this town. Everything from the worst drug addicts you can imagine to the nicest people. You know what? This town, people are either running from something or running to something.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
and
your,
that's what it
your
is.
son told
Okay,
me, how
that's
bad
what it
the
is.
people in this town were.
No, not how, you know what? It's the workers in this town. That's what I'm trying to
I
say.
have a
Because-
message on my phone from your son
Okay.
telling me how horrible the people of Sorrento are.
Well, that may be a mistake on his part, because I think the people in this town are wonderful. Most of the people that I know, I think, are great. What I'm saying is there's no place for people to live that want to work. And so we've been housing them. I know the problem
Those
with
people
housing.
aren't working in their housing, they're walking
Yeah.
around the roads, you
No,
said it yourself.
hardly.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you
Yeah.
explained it to yourself,
Yeah.
all the businesses see them, thefts are up, things change.
Thefts
We-
are up.
We're in the community,
Listen,
we live here.
when we moved here, there were 255 instances of crime in this town, in this area, according to the RCMP, when we moved into this place. We started hiring the people, we started housing the people, we started feeding the people. The incidence of crime down to 5. Call the RCMP, they get 5 calls from you guys already every week. All right, and they'll tell you the story. All right,
Yeah,
we
You
housed them.
seem so
We
angry
cleaned them.
about discussing your
I'm not,
development.
no, I'm not angry about the development,
You
I'm
come
angry about
across
the
real angry.
insinuation that you're saying that crime is up. That's false, it's a lie, and I don't want you to let other people know that. You're lying, you're a liar, and don't say it. How about that?
I didn't say
Now we
crime
can
was
go
up.
back, now we can go back to our development. Ask me something about our
If
development.
you are looking for workers, why do you keep telling us that this is going to be for all the senior citizens? Yet they're 2 and 3 bedrooms, which everybody else is like, why are you against family development? Which we aren't. we want a reasonable amount of family development and proper sewer, make sure the fire department can get in and out, make sure that buses and the roads and everything else work.
Right.
Also that you,
Let me answer that first question. The
make
seniors,
all of the requirements.
if the
before
seniors
you
move
put them
into these houses, then now their houses now become available to families. That's what I'm talking
But
about. So
still
more
2 and
families
3
will come out.
bedroom houses.
What's
Why
that?
can't a family live in those 2 and 3 bed, why do you keep saying seniors?
Yeah.
Well, no, they could, absolutely. We could have families move into there, no problem. The only thing is, the reason I'm saying that, it's not gonna be a lot of big yards, right? I mean, there's not gonna be when you're on a slope like that, it's hard to get a yard. So
Not
chances are
this one.
families are not gonna be moving into these. They're gonna be more adult type.
Or maybe when you restructure it, you put like greenery in the middle,
Well, there is lots of greenery there already.
but you just said there's no like play
No
area.
backyards, no backyards. Kids need backyards, they don't need play areas. You're not gonna send your kids to the
I
park.
grew up where the apartment buildings were built so that there was a yard in the middle
Exactly.
and everybody played in the yard, so it was kind of a backyard.
Right.
Also, I wanna go back to the very first thing I said, where you like, fuck me, don't worry about it, which I really don't appreciate.
We're being called a liar, by the way.
Well, if you lie, you're.
Well, I wasn't lying.
Okay.
We can.
Well, ask business owners.
Own it, man.
Well, when the people
Don't say
saying,
stuff that ain't true.
don't interrupt me.
Don't say stuff that ain't true.
Don't interrupt me and listen to
Let me
what I
ask you a
gotta
question.
say.
Okay? I don't need, I'll wait after this lady
Sure,
finishes her
that's
question.
fine.
Okay.
This is what I
Carry
wanna
on.
read to you,
Sure.
because you're like fluffing off this like public meeting and that it's advertised,
Go
etc.
ahead, go ahead.
Due to the density proposed, staff recommended the complex consultation process in accordance with policy P18 regarding consultation. Under the complex consultation process, the applicant will be required to hold a public information meeting in the community where the subject property is located. This public information meeting would be arranged and conducted by the applicant and would take place prior to the board's consideration of a second reading, plus there's like 8 societies you have to get to. The purpose of the meeting is for the applicant to provide the public with information about the proposal, listen to comments and concerns, and answer any questions. So, is this what you're gonna do next Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, it has to be properly advertised.
It'll be properly advertised. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the people staying in your place,
Yes,
they're not working.
but they are.
Okay.
Where are they not working? Who's
Well,
not
if I
working?
see them walking around town all the time, what job do they have?
What right do you have to say that those people aren't working? You tell me the right.
Well, I'm
you
just
have to
asking
say
you,
those
you
people
said
aren't
you're housing workers, so,
Yeah,
so
I-
everyone's working.
Every single person that lives on our property is either put there by the police, put there by social services, or is an employee, or just come in and out of town. Alright, so sometimes the police will come by at 2 o'clock in the morning with a battered woman, all beat to shit, and they'll ask us if we can put her up for a few days, and we do. Then social services call us and say there's a woman that's in a bad situation in her home, and they'll come in, they'll stay for 2 or 3 months in our place. And then other people, we have people right now, probably 4 people staying there that are all long COVID, and they live in the places. But as far as actual people that we employ, they all work every single day if they live on our property. If they don't work, they don't live there, and that's why we fired 26 people on one day last year, because I cleaned house. There you go. So anybody who lives on our property works unless the government doesn't let them work, or doesn't want them to work. So you have no right to tell us that people don't work. You have no right. Anybody have a
So
question?
you're fairly sure
I
nobody
think you're
will
taking
buy
that a
your
little too
lot,
far.
but I wanna finish, you're fairly sure that nobody will buy the court-ordered sale, which it is a court-ordered sale, you just Google it.
You
Google
know-
it, that's
you know what?
clear. If somebody buys it,
Then they'll take
then
over.
this is all mute
No,
anyways.
no, the only reason anybody
If they
would buy
want
it
to take
is
it
because
over.
this is moving forward. That's the only reason they'll buy
Yeah,
it, because this is
probably
moving
to see
forward.
that they have the possibility, but they may
There we
not
go.
choose this one, they may choose their own.
Absolutely, but but see, the thing
And all
is,
that's required for
we
that
will-
is the changing of the zoning, which
There you go.
CSRD is very willing to change the zoning.
absolutely, and that's why it's taken 5 years to get here, okay? If this happened 4 years ago, there wouldn't be a court-ordered sale, and you'd have some beautiful little houses sitting down there right now. But it's taken 5 years to get here. So now we're here, and guess what? We'll go through the process, we'll answer all the questions, we'll make sure everybody is as comfortable as they can possibly be.
So
All
when
right?
do
And then
you
we'll move
expect
forward.
the second reading will happen?
Well, we expect to have everything all answered by the end of October, so we expect this sometime, the second meeting sometime in November. That's what we're hoping for. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I just have a question about your sewer system again.
Sure.
So if you are in a court order sale, like a foreclosure, because there's no money to pay for the debt for the hotel.
You don't know that.
You
have no
said
idea.
that.
No?
Yes, you
no.
did.
I said the business makes no money. That's a big difference in
Anyways.
having no money. Big difference. So let's not say things.
Where
to
is the
inflame-
money going to come from to put in a 3 million plus sewer system?
Not your problem. Not your problem. That's my problem. So you don't worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Okay, so the
Go
next
ahead.
question is, if sewer does come into Sorrento,
Correct.
are you gonna be hooking into the Sorrento sewer
Of course.
system?
Of course.
Or voting us out because you're putting in an X amount of units in here that could actually cause grief in voting it in?
Voting, oh no, if the system, if Sorrento ever does decide to put in a sewer system, it would be designed for 48 more units.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so there's no plans on any board, anywhere, to put a sewer system into your town, okay? And so having
yet.
48 more in might just make it a little bit more important for them to actually want to put a sewer in. And if you leave it up to the developers or the advancements, then we could actually be the impetus that gets you guys a sewer in a town. And that's really what we're looking for, okay? We really are. Guys, you got me all wrong. I am 100% for this town. I fought for this place since I've been here, okay? But you know, you got your, if you want to build these things up in your head, that's fine, but get over it.
Build
And
what
let's
up in
just,
our head?
just,
Nothing
let's
built
just
up in our
work
heads.
toward, no, I'm
We're
not saying
addressing
you.
our concerns.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. There's
Or either
other-
she's addressing her concerns as well.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, don't think that this is a bad thing. Let's start thinking about this being a good thing, and how we have a saying in our hotel, in our business, years and years ago. I learned it from a mentor of mine. He says, let's find a way to say yes, okay? There's all kinds of easy ways to say no. Let's find a way to say yes, okay? And so we got the list of things that we have to do. We're gonna do them. We're gonna do that list, and if we don't do that list, guess what? We're moving on, man. We're moving on. Don't have to any more worries. So all you gotta do is ask the questions.
I did.
And I'm gonna give you the answers.
And you're saying I'm putting things in my
No,
head?
no, you're saying things that aren't true that might inflame people. Don't say there's no
Oh,
money.
now I'm a liar.
There's lots of money. There's lots of money, okay? Just maybe not coming from that business to pay for that. And that's why it's in the situation it is. But you know what?
Well,
If somebody
your
comes in
your
and buys it,
establishment terrifies me.
Yeah.
Because I see what you have there now,
Mm-hmm.
and how it is not looked after. And people driving through this town don't wanna stop because they look at that building and all the crummy junk out front and all the signs out front, and it puts a bad name on Sorrento.
Okay.
And that is you.
That is absolutely untrue. Every word you just said is untrue.
Oh.
Okay, so let me start for the first, okay? Everybody that drives through Sorrento, everybody drives through Sorrento, we give them a bad name. Well, let me tell you
I
something,
didn't say you do.
okay?
Who said
You
you
just said that because it's ugly and it's all this. Listen, there's no way. I drove through this town 32 times in 1 year going out on a business venture that we had out there, and I never saw this damn town. Okay, I drove through it 32 times. And so you know what those little signs are for? So people recognize that there's something there. That's why those signs are there.
Well,
and
then
if
put
you
them on
don't
your
like
property.
them, tough bananas. If you don't like them, we're allowed to do that. We're allowed to put signs up there to let people know. Now, we housed thousands and thousands of people last year coming into our place, and 90% of those people loved the stay, they loved going down to the water, they ate in our restaurant, and they spent money in your little town because they were here. So don't say that our businesses are bad. The back looks like crap, I
The front
admit
looks
it,
like
no
crap.
problem. The front is beautiful compared to what it was when we bought it, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
We painted that thing, we developed all the rooms, we renovated everything, we painted the hotel, we renovated the inn and the bar. Come on, that place is infinitely better than it was when we bought it. Just because there's a few sheds out front
I'm
right
not
now.
just talking the sheds.
Okay, well, no, that's.
How about the signs that are all kicked over?
What signs are kicked over? There's no sign kicked
One
over.
sign kicked over in the end.
Sorry.
And it's not
Talking to
there.
you, talking to you.
Hold on.
One sign kicked over.
It's not there anymore now, is it? Is that sign kicked over still?
I haven't been there for a
No,
while.
it's not kicked over because when I came back, I saw it and I picked it up and I moved it. There you go. When the wind blows in this town, it blows stuff over. We can't stop that. It's blowing our signs down. Guys, we've spent over $15,000 repairing signs since we've been here, okay?
Well, then maybe you shouldn't have so many signs.
Okay, here's a question. You said this will be the push to get Sorrento to maybe get sewer.
Sure.
Why don't you take your $3.5 million and propose it to CSRD to put a sewer system in here?
Yeah.
Because they've
And
already
instead
done.
of building a treatment plant that can be managed properly or mismanaged, we don't know that information.
Sure.
Why don't you propose then that we'd actually throw that money, that you would throw that money in to help kickstart the idea?
Sure. It's already been done.
Okay, good.
Okay, and it's, and they said it went to, and that request has gone to the Ministry of Environment, and they said they look at it, but in talking to them, it'll be 4 years before they get around to it. That's what I keep saying. As soon as something goes, that's why we're doing it in 3 stages, because the septic system.
But once again, then you're putting money into something you're gonna have to disable anyways.
Absolutely,
So-
absolutely. We're throwing good money after bad, but you know what? We can't wait for them to come up with a septic system 20 years from now, or a sewer system 20 years from now.
Who
Just can't
says
wait
it's
for
gonna
that.
be 20 years from now?
Well, because it's been 30 years that they've been collecting money for you guys from sewer, on
Probably
your
even for
taxes.
the highways.
Every one of you guys have a tax, when you get your tax bill, look at it. You're taxed for sewer. You're taxed for sewer. You guys got a sewer? What are you being taxed for sewer for? Okay, you don't have one, but you can tax for it. They've got somewhere, I've been told, by people, I'm not 100% sure, that's 100% sure credible, but they seem like it. There's about $40 million currently saved for a septic system or for a sewer system for Sorrento. However, a sewer system, and the estimate, the most recent estimate that they've had for a sewer system for Sorrento is $2.5 billion.
Yeah, there's grants for that as well.
Yeah, they were offered all that, right?
Actually, it was declined.
Okay, well, it was declined by,
It was
because they
declined by
didn't,
the board here,
Right,
which
exactly.
had members on it that didn't even live in Sorrento. They were
Exactly.
from different areas that didn't want this
That's right.
to move forward.
I agree 100%. You're absolutely right, which is ridiculous. So why didn't we all stand up and fight and throw tomatoes and vote those people off the
We don't
board?
throw anything. We don't have to do anything. We just gotta discuss this and make it, that it's an actual true proposal that you're gonna be good for this community.
No, I'm talking about the sewer, right? The sewer, when that sewer was declined by the board, why didn't the town rise up? Why didn't everybody rise up, fire everybody off that thing and then get that thing? Why wouldn't you do that?
No.
Y'all know you
There's many
need
stories
sewer.
behind that.
Right, but y'all know
Because
you
we
need
were,
sewer.
but we were told by the CSRD at that time, that all avenues were like dead-ended,
Right.
in other words. They
Exactly.
tried this, they tried that, they tried this, they said, they told us that they tried absolutely every possibility and everything was a no-go. And so, I mean, how do you rise up against that? How do you argue that? I mean,
Sure.
good for you, I like your attitude, but, I mean, I don't know how we could have fought any harder for it than we already did. We asked, we pleaded, and it didn't happen because they said they had run out of all possibilities. So, I mean, I don't know.
Sure, so how many years ago was that?
About 2012, 2011,
Yeah, 11 probably.
2012, 2011.
So 15 years ago. And you know what, and maybe back at that time, maybe back then, they didn't have the technology they have now. Now, guys, there's 3 or 4 incredible systems, so simple, so easy. They don't require land mass, they don't require any distribution, they don't require any of that stuff. Please take a minute and look at number 1 Blythe and look at the Blackwater system. That is just one of many that are just spectacular. There's spectacular systems that they could use now. So we don't have to sit and say, well, you know, use up all this land. You can do it now. 15 years ago, maybe it was fairly new technology, but now it's proven, it's established. They use it all over Europe. They just, and as I'm mentioning to you, they just introduced it over all along the Hudson River in New York, right? They wanted to create a community. They've been trying to build housing and people downtown. They haven't been able to do it for 50 years. But finally, they put the Blackwater system in there. Now, look at what's happening with the Hudson.
But this
all these
gentleman
towns and
said
everything
earlier
come down.
that
Yeah.
it's not improved in Canada.
It's not,
No.
you have to make a
No, no.
system we can use.
Well, you gotta understand, if it's approved everywhere else in the world, believe me, when we introduce it to Canada, it will be approved.
It
Believe me.
already is introduced, it's in Alberta.
No, it's not. There's no Blackwater
Does the
system.
Banff Hotel recycle their water and actually send all their gray water back to their toilets?
Yes, but it's not the
Okay.
Blackwater system. They don't,
Okay, so it's a little different.
yeah, they don't, remember the Blackwater system is the thing that makes it incredible,
Oh, really?
is it deals with the black part of all that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying every one of our houses are gonna have a gray water system. Every single one of them will have a system in there that redoes your gray water.
That's
It's the
effluent.
black water, yeah, it's that right? So it's that effluent, and the black water system takes care of the effluent, and that's where the challenges are. So that's, and
Do you have any
study-
literature on that like that?
you know what, you can go online, just look
Okay,
up,
so I'll just Google it
look
online.
up Aquacell, black water system, it's all there, absolutely, it's an incredible system, it's used all over the world, and
Can
believe
you
me,
use
it'll be
it
used
here
there.
though?
No, not
Absolutely,
yet.
well, you can't now, because it'll take us
Not
2 or
approved
3
yet.
years.
So you
But-
can't build this for 2 or 3
No,
years?
no, we're not using the Blackwater, I'm talking the Blackwater system would be to take the entire town of Sorrento and hook them up to sewer. That's what the Blackwater system is for. No, we're not gonna build it for 48 houses. The system, just to put that system in would be $20 million. Okay, yeah, so that's not,
So
that's not.
what you're going to submit is a system for the hotel, the pub, the 16 units with the capability to be added on in 16 units at a time.
Exactly,
But the first one will hold the pub, the motel, and 16 units.
that's right.
And it's 3, for the 16 units, it's gonna be 3 times 16, obviously, or it's close to that.
That's right.
That each one will have their own system, is that what you're
That's
trying
right.
to say?
No, you're
Yeah.
not allowed
That
to do
won't
that.
Well, no, well, you
CSRD
actually,
they already said
requires
that.
that.
yeah, you actually, it's not, you're actually allowed to. Okay, so,
It has to be
just
all one
don't worry about
system.
that. We'll get
Well, we
it.
are worried about it, just a second, this is a discussion that you called.
Right.
This is a meeting that you asked, and you asked for feedback, we are trying to get you feedback, and you're shuffling us off.
No, no,
That's a good way to discourage the people here to ever back you.
What I keep saying, don't worry about it, is that if I can't come up with a system that
Yes.
works, you don't have to worry about it, cause it's not going through.
No, I understand that.
Okay, so what it is, let me tell you how it works. Right now, according to the local authorities and the Ministry of British Columbia, how it works is this. Any system that requires more than 22,500 liters a day, all right, has to go to the Ministry of Environment.
You're 500.
All right, and we're 500 under that, okay? And so,
Just
That's
for
why
all the rats.
CSRD
Yeah.
Right.
told you that they weren't gonna have 3
And if
small
somebody has a
units.
separate
You
sink,
have
you're
to
done.
have it
Yeah.
all
no,
into one
the
unit.
CSRD,
As soon as they put in a
when,
They already
Anything.
put into their office.
Anything other than the original.
when the CSRD said that,
Blind Bay Resort,
Here,
when
I'll
the
read it.
CSRD said that, don't worry, I
$2
read it.
million
When the CSRD said that, what they were saying is they didn't want 3 separate, systems go on.
Exactly.
But this will be, it's one system in 3 different phases,
Okay.
okay?
But
different,
yeah,
that's different.
But each one will be less than 22,500 liters per day.
So
It is
that's 3
abs-
different systems, again, at less than 23,000. whatever number you're saying.
There's semantics, but yes, but it's 100% fully authorized and legal by the
So
engineers.
how is that one system if it's three separate ones? That's the part that's confusing me. I'm asking the question.
Because what it is, it's the same system,
3 times.
3 times, okay?
Yeah.
But it's under 22,500 liters. So it is fully approved by the province, and it's fully approved. And guess what, guys? If it isn't, I'm not going ahead. If it isn't, I'm not going
This is
ahead.
what it says in here. You can build your first system, and you have to have in place enough room and area to add on to that system, and that system grows with the property, not 3 separate systems. Because CSRD wants the larger BC provincial to be overseeing the septic system instead of the smaller interior help. It's in here.
We're dealing with that. What did you
Good
say?
grief.
I disagree with you. If it's not gonna be a good sewer system, there's not gonna be no deal anyway.
It's a great sewer system, they won't approve it. If they don't approve it, it's not going through, so,
That's right.
again.
The only thing that I would be concerned with, let's say, for the person who's up to 60 units, and you get your sewer system put in for that, and then where's the money coming in to continue with it, if you're allowed to continue with it, or are these guys gonna be stuck? Like, if let's say you don't sell the next 16 units, so what happens? Can you still afford to maintain it and sell? And are they gonna still be okay, or is everything gonna get shut down again?
Oh, no, I mean, for the first 16 houses, you're gonna have a fully operational septic system.
Right.
Fully operational.
But let's say the next 16 don't sell, for example.
Right.
So what happens? What's the next
But
step for the
they
people
will,
that
well,
already own?
the units won't be built if they don't sell. Or we don't just, we may decide to just rent them all, and then we'll just build them with our own cash. And then we'll rent them out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, they've got to do everything instead of, you know,
That's just one idea.
maybe you might have to go ahead and pre-sell everything in order to have the funds to be able to do it all.
Well, no, because the system is gonna be built, right? When the first 16 go in there, now, when we build the next 16, the system will be increased in size for that. We won't build the septic system will have to be built prior to the 16 units.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we won't
just
have
want
any
to
worries.
do something, they'll have to do it.
Yeah, no, that won't happen. That won't happen. Not, everybody moving forward will always have the system, have a system done.
What about the system they just put in Blind Bay Resort?
The new system, you mean?
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
one.
You know what, I really don't know, I haven't checked, we took a few.
It's a sewer treatment plant is what it
Yeah,
is.
sure, and from what I understand, they still have a big field, but they just put in a 4-stage treatment system, where similar to the one that's been put in all of these little communities around here. I understand that's what they did, but I haven't gone to see it yet, so I can certainly check that out, but, I mean, that's a lot of units in there, there's pretty high density in there.
I believe it was 48 residents that had to cough up the money for the bill for that.
Right, yeah.
Not
I'll,
counting the rentals.
You know, that's a good, I'll go and check and see what they've done there, but we have great engineers, we're paying them almost $1 million, guys. So they're gonna come up with a system that works.
Who is your
Trust me.
engineering company?
It's none of your business at this point, we'll let you know. We'll let you know,
On Tuesday, they're gonna give us that information, correct?
possibly,
I wanna say something.
sure.
So I don't live very far from you. I've been there for 50 years,
Yeah.
so my family's been there for a long time. I absolutely am grateful to you that you do take in people and that you are good to them. And I have seen many people come and go from his place, and I am 100% for the loose driver, for the downtrodden, for the marginalized, and Alan does help people. The concern that I hear today is that, I'm just gonna be frank, because I'm a straight shooter, people feel they can't trust you. They feel that your actions don't match your words, that's what I hear, and I'm just speaking globally, you can agree with me or not. That's one thing, and I'll leave that there, and they want to know that when you're speaking, there's a leadership quality and an integrity quality that you come with, that you say, when I speak and I say this, my actions will match that. They need to know that, and they need to say that. Now, my family's been in this town for 50 years, and my dad passed away just recently, and this was a vacation rental that our family came to, but he knew a lot of people in the area, and you know, there's a lot of elderly people here, and I appreciate that you want to get them home. I'm very concerned with them, about them as well. There are new families, like my own family, that have moved in. My kids are a little bit older, but I know that there's a lot of younger people that are moving in. I think that's wonderful. I appreciate that you want to see, that you are forward thinking. The problem that a lot of people have is that you do have amazing ideas, Alan. It's a matter of the integrity behind them. That's what people are struggling with, okay? The other thing also is, like, you know, I worked at Maples when I was a little girl, and it was always immaculate and always looked after. And I think that you have great ideas, and you start a lot of projects, and I'm hearing this man say, you start a project, and how do we know when you're gonna finish it? And then I hear a man saying over here that there's a potential that it could just be left there, and I don't know, sir, do you live up there where you see that every day?
Every single day.
So the concerns that the community, I'm hearing this, I listen to this, and people share, and I'm a straight shooter, I don't wanna speak about anyone behind their back unless I'm saying it to them. But I think that the integrity issue, people want to know they can trust. They want to know that when you stand up to speak that what you say is what you're gonna do. They want a clean environment. As a little girl, I grew up in Sorrento, in the summers only. I left the country, I've come back. We take pride in the community, and I think there are some aspects that you have come in and you have tried to improve that 100%. I do believe that, and I'm giving you credit for that. And I think that you are trying to help people, and I do know, because you're right on my street, I know our same thing. I know all about what they're doing, and that they know that they can come to you to house people, and that you are giving people a chance. But as we give people a chance when we're in a leadership role, we have to rise to that as well, right? We have to be there. So I do hear the concerns about coming off the roadway system in Henstridge. People love this town. I love this town. That's why I came back after traveling to 80 countries. And I think it's really important that, if we want to be a leader, we have to talk like a leader and operate like one. And I'm not saying that's not happening, but I'm saying that in order to get things done, it's important that we have follow through. So there's a mess, and I haven't been up there. There's a mess that you were talking about, okay? There's a mess down at Naples. I'm just gonna call it that, like, whatever. I think you have great ideas, Alan, but I think you have to finish what you started. And I think that's so important, and if we do that, and if we do that, then it keeps the community clean. I don't see a problem with the signs on the road. I do see the motel as being improved, I do see that. But I think that focus here and then move on. The concern people have more than anything, what I'm hearing is that if you start something, are you gonna finish it? Is there gonna be funds to finish it? Is it gonna leave a taint on the community? Because if it actually is gonna go through and it actually is a great thing, and I hear about all the black water, and you do have forward-thinking ideas, and I'm with you there because I have traveled and I've seen how people do it around the world. So we are backward here in many ways. The most important thing is integrity and follow through. And I'll be honest with you, the rap that you have in the community is not the best. And I'm 100% a believer in Christ, Jesus, and so I know that you give people second chances, etc. I think from here on in, you can operate at that level and operate in that and garner yourself that trust from people around, because I see a lot of people aren't really sure what to do there, and I'm hearing that in different areas. So that's just kind of my overall arching
Very well
thing.
said.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Now, and you're right, but sometimes when you come into, when you come into a situation that we came into, really, which was in the middle of COVID and whatever, the things happen that way, and you're absolutely right. It's a mess everywhere, but
And I remember going in to
else.
support you and your wife in that
Sure.
too. My
Absolutely.
son.
So I am 100%, guys, and I am 100% on par with with, if this community decides to give us a fair shot, I'm absolutely willing to give them a fair shot, and we'll go. Because I am so sick of hearing so much crap, right? Because we hear it every day, all the time, okay? We're just sick of it, and so I don't even listen. But you know what? You give us a fair shot. The reason we have a CSRD, the reason we have government bodies is so that they hold us to a standard. We're absolutely gonna be held to a standard here. We have to be held to a standard. If we can't meet that standard, we're not going ahead. We're just absolutely not going ahead with this thing. So that is something that does not need to be a concern for you.
Yes, Alan.
Hold on a second. What is a concern is, you're right, once this gets approved, is the thing gonna get built, all right? Once this thing is approved, like I say, I'm out of that part of it, okay? There's gonna be developers that you all love and trust and believe in, and they'll make sure this thing gets done 100%. And guess what? There's still inspectors, there's still people that come and look at everything. So the project will move forward if it is approved. But you know what? If everybody can just stop the backbiting, the cow cutting, and all the other crap, I'm all good with that. So I'm 100% with you on that, and we can do that. Yeah, go ahead in the back there, sorry.
Just saying you're, like the lady there said, that you're, how am I gonna put it, that you want the community to be 100% behind you, and yet you're not looking after the community. And let me say, yes, you're looking after the people, and good for you on that. But the way your place looks, and the signs are one thing. I'm not gonna say anything just because they're there. But the back half of your property, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. How can we support you and say, hey, this is a great idea, when it keeps piling up and piling up?
Sure. It's actually getting a lot better.
No,
Okay,
it is
hold on a
not.
second, I got this.
No, it is not.
I got this.
I watched today
Yeah.
as now you take.
So what did you see today? Tell me what you saw today.
Today I saw a trailer.
Yes.
I saw it being moved into another spot and sort of dismantled, but not sort of dismantled. Today I saw stacks of lumber that are 20 years old, very weathered, stacked here, stacked there, stacked there, stacked there. I saw some window frames, door frames, in the middle of the stacks of wood piled up.
Okay, there's a lot of junk.
Yeah, and
Okay,
so if we can't trust you there, how can we support you for the thing that you say, trust me, I'm gonna build a really nice place?
Okay.
If those are not, I'm not against development, and if the development is done nicely, and that, I'm all for it.
Okay.
But
All
so
right.
far you haven't given the community as, any confidence in your ability to do that.
Okay.
So,
And Alan, that's why I'm here tonight too.
Sure.
If that stuff wasn't there, and seeing what I've been seeing over the last, since you've been there, I wouldn't be here tonight. And I'm not against development either, but
Great, so
It
all that
doesn't
stuff
look
goes
good,
away, then I
right?
got your vote, right? If all that stuff goes away, I got your vote, is that what you're saying?
pretty much,
Okay.
pretty much.
Fantastic.
Alan, we are half an hour over time. I can't go home till all of you go home. And so I really would like to wrap this up.
Okay.
You've rented the hall again
Yeah,
next
Tuesday
Tuesday, so
night,
we
we get to
could
do it
carry
all
it
over.
on. I just think maybe everybody goes home, thinks about some questions that you wanna bring till next Tuesday. Just that, well, I'm a farmer now and I go to bed early.
Okay, so quickly let me,
Can we
No,
book
it's
extra
not,
time for
it's
the hall?
absolutely not resolved.
Can there book
And
extra time so we
yes,
don't run out of time?
absolutely, absolutely.
let
And
me-
I feel like we're kind of, not to be rude, but beating a dead horse.
Oh, no, for sure.
I mean, it's all relevant and it's all important and everything that y'all have to say is good and it's important. But I feel like we're kind of
Yes.
repeating and stuff. And I think we need to come back and do this again and maybe you'll be more prepared,
sure, well, I will be.
right?
Now, let me just on his one point there, what you saw today, was not what you just described. You saw that's been there for months. What you saw today, if you were actually walking there, you'd see 8 men that I hired today that emptied out that big trailer that was there. We moved the trailer over so that it could be picked up by a truck. And then we emptied that whole trailer so we could put a whole bunch of stuff that was in that yard in that trailer. And it's gonna go away. And then there's another great big trailer coming in right after that, so don't get mad at that one. It's gonna be a big white one. And it's gonna take all the other stuff that's in there, and it's gonna haul that away. And so then each day, and then the big units that are there that came from down below, all that old stuff that you said is $10,000 worth of cedar siding. And that cedar siding, although it looks ugly, it's gonna go all on the sides of those buildings. And so over the next few weeks, all that stuff is gonna be on there, and all those units are gonna be gone. And then that man that was here, back there, giving all the trouble, he is then gonna bring his big old cats in there, and he's gonna clear all that stuff off there. So by the end of October, all of that land is only gonna be, okay, now, that's our plan. By the end of October, all of that land is all gonna be cleaned off, and then we're gonna be leveling it off so that all the weeds and all that crap is gone. We also are waiting for the fire ban to go off, right, for the big fires. So
That would be great.
Pick it up on Tuesday.
Sure, let's do it on Tuesday. Guys, listen, I want to tell you, I appreciate very much that you're here, and I
Book
appreciate your
extra time,
questions. What's that?
Book extra time.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll go, if you want, yeah, we'll do 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock then. You know, I really thought 3 people were gonna show up and nobody was gonna come because they didn't advertise it. But I'm so glad you came. So at least now I can be a little bit more prepared. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm doing the same. Well, in all honesty, there's always gonna be.
It looks good on the phone.
It's gonna straighten out.
Yes, I did, because next time, I would like to inform that okay? I don't think that's the right thing.
You gotta understand, they
That's fine, so we're gonna have.
don't worry about it.